你警察走在后面。你警察吧？你警察吧？你警察吧？你们动手干嘛？你们动手干嘛？
我是江苏常州金坛的杨丽，我跟我父亲去北京看病。
This is Yang Li. She's trying to make her way to the Chinese capital. The men she's filming following her are with the police. The Yang family has tried to make this journey to Beijing 20 times now. But every time, the police anticipate their next steps and physically stop them. No other country keeps tabs on its citizens like China. More security cameras are installed here than in the rest of the world combined. With artificial intelligence, China has supercharged its ability to stifle any dissent with the most sophisticated surveillance systems on the planet. The government is able to spy on its people and repress its population by predicting who should be labeled as suspicious, and they had help from companies in a country that has long claimed to support freedoms worldwide.
US companies are really leading the way in China in helping the Chinese police to implement these kinds of tools.
An Associated Press investigation has found that for decades, American tech firms sold billions of dollars worth of surveillance technology to China. This, despite repeated warnings about how that technology was being used. The AP obtained tens of thousands of pages of classified and internal documents that show how companies intentionally designed and marketed systems that became the foundation for China's digital cage. The Yangs are farmers in rural China caught in a land dispute. They have lived and farmed these 1.5 acres of land in eastern Jiangsu province for generations. The local government wants to build apartments and shopping centers here. It's easy to spot the surveillance cameras outside of the family home. After the dispute with local authorities over their land escalated in 2009, the family became the target of intimidation. They filed repeated complaints, but were ignored. Finally, in 2023, they decided to petition the central government in Beijing, and that's when their troubles got worse. Lights and cameras were installed around their home. A surveillance hut appeared next door, with officers stationed around the clock. And every time the family tried to go to Beijing, mysterious men stopped them. Sometimes by force.
我在医院住了2个月，警察在病房里，在病房外监视，我们就像政治犯一样的。
Jiangsu authorities and police did not respond to questions from the AP about the Yangs. When the US and China established diplomatic ties in the 1970s, American businesses were eager to sell to this enormous new market. Following the bloody 1989 Tiananmen crackdown, Congress barred US companies from selling military and policing gear to China, like tanks, handcuffs, and fingerprinting and encryption technology. That ban is mostly still in place today, but with a big loophole. It didn't take into account newer technologies, like cameras, computers, and software, that could also be used for policing. In the wake of the 9/11 attacks, the surveillance tech industry boomed. IBM built so-called real-time crime centers across the US and sold anti-terror software that they said could spot suspicious individuals and foil attacks. One of the biggest buyers of surveillance technology? China.
I think we've been naive or complicit in the extreme. I've been disappointed in all of our presidents who have continually waived sanctions.
For decades, Representative Chris Smith led efforts to ban the sale of advanced technology to Chinese police. The Biden administration made the most recent attempt to close the loophole. It too was unsuccessful.
Silicon Valley and the others lobby very hard and they say, but we're part of the solution. Absolutely not. We should in no way be aiding and abetting a dictatorship who is tracking down its own people.
Procurement records obtained by the digital magazine China File and the AP show that companies including IBM, Dell, HP, Cisco, and Seagate provided the servers and storage for China's mass surveillance systems. Other companies, like Microsoft and Oracle, provided software to operate databases. NVIDIA and Intel chips power facial recognition programs. Many of the tech firms told AP they follow the laws and regulations of the countries where they operate, and they said they adhere to US export controls and uphold conduct that respects human rights. IBM, Intel, and Microsoft added that while they don't have control over how customers use their technology, if they discovered misuse, they would take corrective action. NVIDIA said it does not work with police in China, but did not respond to questions about its past relationship with a Chinese police research institute. Legal and tech experts say the most egregious use of surveillance technology was against the Uyghurs, a largely Muslim ethnicity native to China's far west Xinjiang region. After riots erupted in 2009, leaked blueprints and marketing documents show how American tech companies pitched their surveillance technology to prevent unrest. This led to mass preemptive arrests. Around 1 million people were detained.
这些西方国家提供的这些科技，对我们维吾尔族人来带来的创伤是很深很深的。
Former government engineer Nureli Abliz had direct access to Xinjiang's surveillance infrastructure for over a decade.
如果他们不提供科技，我们就不会这么快被压迫成这么惨的。
Bank information, GPS locations, medical records, phone calls and texts, even water and power usage were all captured and analyzed to root out what the government considered potential terrorists. People were also flagged for things like growing a beard, going abroad, or having more than one phone. Fearing for his safety, Abliz left China.
就是这个高科技的监督的，把我们死死的，所以世界也是没有及时听到我们的声音。
The flood of American technology slowed after outrage over the treatment of Uyghurs, and the US banned exports to Xinjiang police in 2019. Chinese surveillance companies are now thriving, thanks to the foundation laid by US tech firms.
What these tools are, fundamentally, are authoritarian tools. They support those that are in power. They support the status quo. As we see these things spread across the world, we see that being replicated over and over again.
The Chinese government, including Xinjiang authorities, says surveillance allows police to stop criminals and terrorists. The Yangs say they are neither. In October 2024, Yang Li and her 72-year-old mother, Xu Dongqing, again tried to go to Beijing. This time, they were arrested and put on trial for disrupting the work of the Chinese authorities. The two women face up to a decade in prison. Yang Guoliang, who is monitored 24 hours a day, is now a prisoner in his own home. He worries he will never see his wife and daughter again.
我岁数也大了，我心脏也不好，老梗，可能随时发生什么危及生命的事情，丧失了真理，丧失了人权，丧失了自由。